technologies involved. So let us try to be the mind who can understand the software, hardware required to make that embedded system happen. So today, I want you to be the mind where you can understand software and hardware of embedded system and how you can make your skill set for the industry ready. Of course, I being the embedded system developer or the trainer from past 17 years, I thought of bridging a gap between the textbook knowledge to the industry requirement. Let's see on that and let us go for discussing on it. So here, let me share my screen. So of course, to the faculties, to the students of MIT College, a very good afternoon. Let us see the present, future career opportunities in embedded systems. And for that, you can have a career in hardware as well as you can have it in software. Can I know here how many of you are interested in going to the hardware side and software side? Instead of waiting for the question and answers till the last, can I know like your interest is towards hardware or it is towards software? Through chat window, you can make it available to me. Both good. So you are really ready for hard working, soft working. Very good then. So here, of course, the reason why I was talking about the hardware, software here is embedded system. What is mean by an embedded system? As you are aware that many embedded systems you are working with, escalator, AC, washing machine, micro oven, whatnot, home applications, industry requirements, everywhere almost. And once try to have a analyzation on the embedded systems you are daily observing, it is mainly a system integrated in a large system. Embedded system is a part of the large system where this is the one which is involving hardware and software. Here you see hardware, of course, a processing element, decision taking hardware component, and for storing the data like memory chips we require. For giving inputs, taking outputs, we require IO devices. Like this, there are plenty of hardware devices we work with, as you know, based on the requirement. Cameras, many like this. That is related to the hardware components, what you require, which one to prefer, and how to connect, how to make the system ready for the softwares to develop the program. Fine. According to the need, you made the hardware system ready. Now the job is the embedded software developer role, where they have to make the software ready in order to communicate with the devices. See here, if you make the system ready and just keep it only the hardware, will it work? No, it is only a hardware. It cannot do anything on its own. It should be given instructions. Who is giving that instructions? Of course, a software developer. So when you are developing a software, there are various ways for developing. You can follow two-layered architecture. You can follow three-layered architecture. Where I was talking about one layer is all about the hardware, other layer is about the application, another layer is about the operating system, device driver services. Where operating system is really mandatory for all the embedded systems? No, it depends on your requirements. If there are a lot of services you are looking for from the system, then hardware need to be managed efficiently. So for managing the resources like the processor, memory, and hardware devices, among the services you are requesting here, of course, somebody is required to manage. That is the responsibility of operating system. Let me consider a simple example where I require only one sensor data to be collected just for controlling the AC cooling. And there is only one simple task to do. Why somebody is required to manage the services? So that is where we are not in working with the operating system. Where you wanted to do lot of tasks, you wanted to edit the document, you want to play the music, you want to do some downloading. So network services required, keyboard required, then speakers required for playing the music. Lot of requirements. So for that managing this components, we require the OS. It is like a better manager. This is how hardware and software. The students who are looking for the career in the embedded software side, they can be the application programmer, they can be the kernel programmer, they can be the device driver programmers. How they can do this programming? Of course, there is a different software languages you require, and whoever want to go with embedded hardware development, they fall under this category. We'll discuss what software languages and all. Of course, these are the layers. You can fall under this or you can fall under this. Then let's look into some more application areas here. Of course, as I said, embedded is playing its role from the wristwatch we are wearing till the automotive industry and in health, everywhere almost. The sectors listed here you can notice. Let us see here in defense, because nowadays we are observing what is happening around the world, how the wars are happening, how the world is getting affected globally. So these all are the things, are the places where even embedded systems are also playing the role. Let us see some applications like in defense. Of course, when you have noticed this war which is happening between the US and Ukraine and all these countries, where you can see there is a drone which is getting neutralized from the other side as a counterpart. How it is happening? Is it just like that happening? Of course, no. There is an embedded system playing the role where tracking is required, longitude, latitude, and without the human involvement, then targeting is required in on time. Of course, there are operating systems required to make it in on time, like real time operating systems. Then even when you talk about the cyber security, when satellites are launched, even you might have seen a web series recently, Chandrayaan related web series, where you can see when it is sent, the rover in the space has been hacked because cybersecurity related software is not installed in it. Next time when it is launched, it could cross that because the software is integrated into it so that nobody else can hack it. This is how software role is important when it comes to the defense in all the aspects almost. in countering, in targeting, in security providing, all these areas. It is not in one area, in all these areas. Not only that, you see in the attendance systems, mostly attendance systems earlier were like from the initial days, writing in the registers, naming in the registers. From there onwards, if you see, putting your names and registers in time, out time like this, then RFID tags, then smart cards, then camera based, like this. Now we are with contactless attendance systems. What is the benefit of this? See, I may be a person who might be forgetting to give my thumb impression while entering. Then my day in that is over. Then this is how you may be losing the attendance, though you are present in the environment. When it officially counts, of course, it is important to make it happen. So here we want a system which can take the attendance without our extra efforts. That is how you can, while you are crossing the way, it can capture your image. Accordingly, it can consider it as in or out based on the path you are traversing through. This is how is contactless attendance systems are making your job easy, because one day you may forget to carry your RFID tag. Generally, as a students, you forget sometimes ID cards. Is it not? Then waiting at the entrance and somebody bringing that. Is it not a tough thing? Of course. So here contactless attendance systems where camera will capture the face, then it is of course image, it should be processed, digital processing systems required. Then accordingly, there is a system required to take the decision. Is it an authorized person or not? Because of course, everybody is not allowed to come in. So that is how there are processing units required internally in the system where it can make your job effortlessly. Then here you see in the embedded systems in the vehicles. You might have noticed recently the vehicle services you see in the app, mobile app, everything you can take care from. If you have not locked your vehicle properly from your mobile, you can send a signal. And if your vehicle is having some doors open, music system on, lights on, anything, is it getting sensed? Yes. That sensed data, is it able to send to the cloud from where you can receive into your app? Yes. Means sensors are giving a data to your hardware, which is getting processed. Then it is sent to the network, like a server, cloud, like this. From there, your application installed in the mobile can access it. Of course, is everybody can access that? No. Then only the authorized person who is having the credentials. That is how you are securing your data. If everybody can open the door from the mobile app, then how your vehicle is secured? So this is how your systems are for sensing, for controlling, for sending the information to the cloud where you can see by being anywhere. For that reason, you see, you and me are talking to each other through this Zoom conference. How we are talking? Whatever I'm speaking, that is getting sent to the cloud. From there, it is reaching to you people. Here is the embedded system not playing any role. Of course, it is playing a role here. This is how I can talk to you people though I am not present in your place. Or you can talk to me though you are not present with me physically. It is making or it is providing the better convenience. Embedded systems are giving us the convenience. And not only that, you can see here auto parking. For auto parking, is it that easy? Of course, a system to be designed based on the objects it is sensing. It should able to send the red signals if it is not allowed to go back or whatever it is. That is how a system is trained. Auto parking is making the job very easy. Then here you see in the industry, in automation, like of course embedded systems are playing their major role in automation, where the work should happen automatically without much human involvement. Do you think is a human standing there to assemble the parts of the vehicle? Then how the vehicles are getting assembled with all the parts placed at the proper positioning? Of course, there are robots designed to make it happen. They are trained. That is how per day, per hour, lot of vehicles are getting assembled. You think of if human is doing that, will it happen with that fastly? No. Of course, human only designed this system to make it happen. But your the embedded system can make it happen quickly. That is how thousands of vehicles are getting released per day. And you see on the roads are mostly occupied with the vehicles. It is not like earlier 10 years back or 20 years back or 5 years back. Even the moment you join in the company, you just wait for 1 year and 2 years hardly, then you wanted a four-wheeler to buy because you want comfortable traveling. Is it or not? Mostly. That is how it is getting released then. When you want, it should be released from the market. So is it happening? Yes. And this is how you see even in agriculture. Of course, if four-wheelers are not coming or not getting released, also it is to some extent fine. But without agriculturing happening, can we sustain our lives? Of course, no. Then do you think the people are really involving that much as earlier it was happening in the agricultural fields? Like you might have seen your grandparents who are going in the morning to the field, doing the work till night, then they are returning. Are you really interested for doing that? Of course, no. Because everybody of us now are very much interested in working in corporate culture. Then if nobody is going to the agricultural field, how the basic food will come for surviving ourselves? Then here are the embedded systems playing the roles for pesticides. Of course, uniformity required. That can be easily handled here. Can it be controlled from the system? Yes. Do you need to be there with the agricultural field physically? No. You can control it from anywhere. Is pesticide supplying is only the job? No, of course. Planting. Is a robo can do that planting? Yes, it can do. It should be given an instructions. That is what the software developer do to the hardware so that it can make your job happen. It should be programmed to place with a particular gap. One plant should be this much far away from other so that uniformly it will be planted. Then cure in the healthcare. Of course, it is also the primary need. X-ray scanning, then robots are involved in surgeries, wearable. technology, the watch, is it not giving some clinical guidance? Is it not sensing your heartbeat? Of course, there are watches again which will give you the values accurately, and some watches will be missing the accuracy. That is purely based on again the sensor it is using internally. All the sensors cannot give that accurately. So if you are working with the right one, even smart goggles also. You see some smart goggles costing and tens of thousands and lakhs. Why that much? They have some smart technology. It can guide you by getting trained on your regular routine. This is how in the regular lifestyle it is involved, in healthcare also it is involved. Even you see embedded systems almost everywhere. Nowadays, is it like earlier days where motor used to be on for water pumping, and you used to check the time, then accordingly turn it off? Is it like that now? No. Smart water management. Sensors are placed to measure the water level in the tank. Accordingly, automatically the motor will be off, so that water pumping will be off. So you are not required to spend time or concentrate on time seeing and then turning off the motor. In the meanwhile, can you do some other works? Yes, of course. You have turned on the washing machine. You are not required to stay till it gets completed in washing. You can turn it off from outside because you have a app installed in your mobile through which you can access your washing machine which is at home. You forgot your AC is on at your house. Then till you reach your home till the evening, you want it to be on. If every day or in a some days in a month, if you do that, then you can see your current bill. Then when you observe that your AC is on from the mobile app, can you do that? Yes. AC status is getting updated to the cloud. From the cloud, your app can access it. This is how cities, home applications, water management, buildings, almost everywhere it is happening in a smart way. That is what we are trying to say. Even agriculturing is also happening in a smart way. Without making a human spend much time in the agriculturing, it can happen. In place of you, the robot designed by you will be there. I'm saying it is designed by you because you are saying that you will become an embedded software developer or hardware developer. So when you become that developer, you will be the part of the system designs. Even not only in this planting, in plucking also, this type of systems can help you out. Then in plucking, how it can take the decision of plucking? Normally for plucking the fruits or whatever it is, you see the color, or you see the smell, or you see the size. Can a sensor sense that? Yes. Accordingly, your system will take the decision of plucking or not. This is how in planting, in giving pesticides and plucking, everywhere it is playing the role. Even you might have noticed, your mother might be waiting earlier for a servant maid to come and clean the house. But now you can have a vacuum cleaner designed which can do that job. Of course, which vacuum cleaner you are buying, how effectively it is doing, that is different again. You should go with a one which can do effectively. So dependencies are getting resolved. This is how everything is becoming smart. But to make this happen in agricultural, in healthcare, in defense, and war, everywhere, if you think of, then what all are required? Of course, you are required to have a knowledge on the hardware as well as on the software. Then what type of hardware are getting used? Of course, there were the days where 8051, AVR, these were the things which are getting taught mostly. But no, now the industry needs powerful processors because you are in the AI world now. Can it happen with the basic processing elements? Of course, no. ARM Cortex, which is a powerful processor. FPGAs, you can have a programmable gate arrays. You can have the SOCs, you can have the real-time processors. But why these many different processors? It depends on your need, what exactly you want to design. If you want to design AI ML based embedded system, can you make it happen with only ARM Cortex CPU? No, it should understand many things. It should process very quickly. You are asking some request or you are questioning to the Gemini or ChatGPT. Is it taking very long time to give the response to you? Hardly in seconds, right? Is it only responding to you? You are only the client to the Gemini? No, there are plenty of clients. While you are asking to the Gemini or ChatGPT, lakhs of people are talking to it. How come it is able to give that fastly? Sometimes you text the question. Sometimes you ask through the mic. Sometimes you ask by passing image. Then image processing required, voice processing required, text processing required. Can one processor do all these things? No. To process the image, GPUs are required because graphics. You work with Alexa. Is it not an embedded system? Listening to your voice, processing, accordingly it is responding. Their voice processing required because it gives response by processing your instructions, right? So what is your way of giving the input? Accordingly, the different processes are required. Is it like everywhere you wanted the response in the similar fashion? Like when I request the Alexa to turn on my TV or change the channel, it's okay for me if it get delayed by some time. In responding to me, if it takes some extra seconds, is there any hazardous or dangerous situation happening there? No. But you think of in defense, in neutralizing the counters, in war field, if it gets little delayed, will that be acceptable? No, of course. It damages a huge resources. It may be the premises, it may be the human. You see nowadays the war between Iran and US, how much dangerous situations are happening, even after neutralizing many counters. So this is how they should respond in an on time. That is where the real time operating system plays a role. Operating system. It makes you or it gives you the response in on time. It manages many resources. So ARM context means it is nothing out of your scope. You people might have gone through STM32. You might have heard at least. Is it not an ARM Cortex processor? Yes. So like this, then what is a software you people are supposed to learn? There will be a big question for many students. Can I do this programming language? Can I do that programming language? No, now you people should not be feared of that much. Little of your brain with AI intelligence, if you can add it, you can make it happen. But of course, I'm saying at least little of your brain. Everything from the AI may not be able to make your job done. Embedded C, what it requires? C programming language knowledge. Can't you make it happen? No, it is not impossible. It is possible. C++. Yes. RTOS, real-time operating systems. You have lot of real-time operating systems like FreeRTOS, VxWorks, QNX, like Zephyr, many like this. You might have heard about the BlackBerry company. It is purely working on QNX operating system related applications. A general OS. Now you people are watching this session on Zoom platform, but it is installed on some environment like Windows OS or Linux OS, right? So when you are working with your desktop systems, your laptop systems for this session watching, or maybe you want to edit some document, to do that task, you need one OS to manage the hardware resources. That is how Linux, Windows plays a major role. Then everywhere, same standards of programming can I follow? See, you just observe a simple mechanism. Temperature cooling adjustment if you take, then room temperature information need to be read. Accordingly, my AC value need to be adjusted. If this value, this is how. It is a simple if else conditions. But when I look into the avionics, defense based applications, same way of standard programming can you follow? No, you should make a reliable programming. So some standards you should follow. Modularity means whenever you want, you should able to remove the module, you should able to add a new one. Test cases required or more. Adding more and more test cases. So that depends on for which you are making the system ready. That is how these all are the standards. Of course, ISO 26262 is for vehicles. This is how lot of technologies. Now by seeing these many, can I make it happen all? No, they are interdependent. If you can get a confidence on one, that all you will be learning through experience. This is not the one to do in a 1 year or in 1 month. No, you are having your career for years in the industry, right? In the first year, this is the one your role is. You are a fresher in the team. You are asked to do only up to certain limit. Then next role. Of course, I cannot expect from a fresher to do everything on the operating systems. As you gain the experience, you will be trained. You will not be trained everything on a single day. It matters with the experience. That is how you will be growing your experience. You will be upskilling your knowledge. That is how you will be having your promotions in the industry. That is how your salaries gets hiked. Everything is interdependent. Then what is the role of programming languages? Okay, we are saying hardware, software. Why? That is what I was saying in the previous discussion. Hardware alone cannot do anything without giving instructions. Hardware CPU itself, it executes the programmer instructions. The way you give the instruction, the system will respond in that way. That is how programming languages matter a lot in the embedded systems. Then you have C, CPP, Python, many different languages, which to go with, what to go with, this question mark. It depends on the requirement exactly. With which language you can make it easily. Few things you can make it very easily with Python. And for the same thing to do with C, you may need sometimes more instructions. That is how which one is feasible for what type of requirement, accordingly you will plan it. Then there is a word which is playing around you people regularly like AI and ML, and it might be fearing you people like how my career will be. Can I get a job? Can I settle like this? So for that, let us answer today. Most of the engineers comes with that question only from the college. But you being into the embedded technology, it is actually called as a resistance free technology, where this will not play much role in taking off your jobs. Of course, you are seeing in accounting, in service based positions, this is taking off the opportunities. But your role will not be taken away by the A and ML. The reason is, see, there is a new microcontroller into the market, which is chip designed. For that, is a program ready with the ChatGPT or Gemini or with the Claude? Because nowadays you are hearing a lot about the Claude, right? Is the programs ready for everything? If I ask, give me the program on so and so microcontroller, will it give me just like that? No, that should be trained. Who can train that? Whoever knows hardware knowledge and software. For that, there is an expertise required in embedded hardware and embedded software. That is what you are going to be. I hope you understand. You should give certain programs to the system. Then only it can take that inputs accordingly, it can service the new request on that controller. Otherwise, how it can provide the programs? That is how you are required to train on certain different hardware components. You know, in the market, every day new hardware devices comes. For that, you should train the system so that it can service others. Then where this AI ML is playing the role? Alexa, from the moment you see, and prompt engineering. You ask something to the Claude or Gemini or whatever it is through voice, through texting, through imaging, and it will respond. That is the intelligence you are working with. And even in the email spam filtering, when you get some mails, automatically it is filtered into the spam folder or not. That is where. And even you people will be guided through the way when you are trying to have the Google Maps. You are interested to travel to some place, you ask the Google Maps to respond the way. It will give you the answer based on the traffic prediction, because you may be having multiple ways to reach your destination, but it will guide you on a shortest way based on the traffic prediction and all. That is where it is playing the role. Then when you talk about all these things, there is a concept like AI, ML, edge devices, all these things. What is this edge device? See, when you are having a data with you, you are giving it to the cloud, where cloud processing it and responding for you in some cases. But if that is the case, then it takes lot of time. You want it to be in a faster way. What you can do is your data, wherever it is produced or generated, there itself you can have a hardware component. Wherever your data is getting generated, there a hardware component will be there, which will process the raw data into the useful one. That will be given to the cloud. So is my cloud expected to do that processing again? No. That is how you can get the response fastly. The reason is If you being a client, you are expecting the cloud to do, like that some other client also expecting the cloud to do. How many different clients request the cloud can process at a time and can respond? So why don't you make your data which is directly can be understood from the raw data generated? So edge devices are mainly for faster performance, mainly to convert raw data into the formatted data. That is how edge devices are playing for faster computations. It is a hardware component in the local machine itself, wherever data is getting generated. Then this AI ML, what they are working with? There are a lot of learning models trained. See, nowadays the things have become like you become one day in the future busy. Your schedules are available in the calendar connected with your mail ID, suppose. Then you have got a mail request from somebody for your appointment. Then how this AI ML can do is the program you designed can connect with your mail, Gmail, or whatever it is. It can open your calendar. It can check when you are busy, when you are available. Accordingly, it can write a mail to the person who is requesting for your availability. Like so and so time I'm available, you can have it for this much duration, like that. That much easily the things are happening. Means it is able to take the decision by taking the data from your available sources. That is how the machines are getting trained. You being a human being, you take decision. Will you take just like that? No, you think and you take the decision, right? That is how some networks are required to think and take the decision. How they think? They think based on the input data they are having. If suppose I ask the Claude or Gemini, like what type of clothes I can travel with to certain place, then it will suggest me not only based on my preferences of wearing clothes, even during this period, how the people are wearing there, how the environmental conditions are over there. It will analyze that data, then it will even check with my preferences, then it will suggest me. It is not suggesting only like with the finals. This is the weather, so you go with sweaters. This is the weather, you go with this cloth. No, it is even looking at the data like with this age group people, because age to age also it changes, right? I am at what age? My age group people are wearing what type of clothes over there during this environmental conditions. That is how from internet it will access the data. That is how this neural networks are designed from the based on how the human system is designed. For this only many computing models came into the market. You might have heard about LLMs, large language models. Of course, to work on the huge data, like you ask Claude, it will give you anything. Then how it is giving that greatly on anything? It should be trained in a large model. That is how LLMs are helping. Then that system should understand your image and all these things. Then you require NPUs, GPUs, neural processing units, AI accelerators. Of course, nowadays embedded systems like Raspberry Pi boards also coming with the AI accelerators, DSP processors, GPUs, graphics related processing. to make the things happen. These all the processors are existing in your system along with the main processor. These are supportive processors for your main processor to make the things happen fastly. Then when you say designing AI based embedded system, is it that easy? Of course, you should meet some challenges. When you talk about AI based, you see Claude or Gemini, whatever it is having huge data trained. It is trained, that is why it is able to respond to you, right? To train with that much data, do you need memory to store that data? Memory limitations. Even power consumption. When you design any embedded system, it could be power consumption is the main thing. You know, nowadays, even vehicles, electric vehicles are in the market. Even our PM Narendra Modi is also promoting. You know, the pollution, how the Delhi situation is. Of course, it is required. Even not only that, fuel cost is increasing. So there, if your battery is getting drained just like that, charging so frequently, is it possible? For every 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, if you are asked to charge, how can you travel then? So power consumption plays a key role in that or not? Then real time constraints. Braking system, we are saying nowadays everything is automatically happening in the vehicles. It applies a brake when it detects an object. Just think of it is delayed in responding in applying the brakes. Then, so timely manner. Fine. You have taken a care of giving in timely manner the response, memory you have thought of, power consumption, everything. But security is not the concern. I'm sharing my photos to analyze and give me some information. Then it should be with secured thing. Can it be made public like that? No. Security is our main concern. These are all the challenges your system should meet. That is how you should train or you should design. To design this, you will be from basic programmer to the efficient programmer. Step by step, as experience gains, it will happen. Then when you talk about the future trends, what it can be, of course, Edge AI, IoT integration. This is what now today we are with internet only we are talking to each other, right? Your data will be sent to internet. From there, it can be made available to anywhere. And smart agriculturing also the same thing happening. Autonomous systems means you want everything to happen automatically. Nowadays, you might have heard about brakes. Everything is happening automatically. Smart cities, wearable devices. These all are the things of future trends. For all these things, your role is same: hardware developing, software, various softwares you work with, various challenges you work with. Because everywhere the challenge is not same. In some cases, memory using is okay, but security is my major concern. Like that. Then these are the things you people are, of course, required to know about. And by seeing all these things, don't think like when everything is happening automatically, where is my role? That is what I'm telling you. You are supposed to make the things automatic. You are required to design such systems as a developer. For users, end users, it will be automatic. So this is how you are required everywhere in the industry. Not in a single place. Your minds are required everywhere. This is what. So if you have any questions, then let me know. Thank you, of course.
Thank you, ma'am. Any question from audience? Okay, I think there is no any question, ma'am.
Okay.
So as we come to the end of this session, I would like to express my sincere thanks, gratitude uh, to Ms. Sumati Reddy ji for
It's our
sharing such
pleasure.
a valuable knowledge and career guidance with us. I also thanks to the respected principal sir, faculty members, and dear students and participants to make this webinar a grand success. So I am also thanks to the management for providing the opportunity. Thank you, madam.
It's our pleasure.
So I conclude this session is end here. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah.